Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Kong Roundtable. I had to correct it in my head because I was thinking of King Kong versus Godzilla, which would make this episode 6, but no, we did that last time, not this time.
Way before.
Yeah. So, anyways, as always, you're joined by me, Mulder, otherwise known as Faye, and
Ton here once again.
And Crash here, per usual.
late.
On time, kind of. Doesn't matter. But we're ready.
Okay. So today we are covering King Kong Lives from 1986, the sequel to 1976's King Kong. I feel like this is the first movie where we're really going against the grain.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, we were Shin critical, at least me and Ton were, but not like, oh, Shin's bad. This is like, something. Crash,
Just
I'll,
very much
I'll,
shocked by what we saw. Very surprised.
Crash, I'll let you break it to everybody.
Yeah. I'd say we generally enjoyed and had fun with King Kong Lives for the most part. Like we came into this. Everyone we heard and talked about it was like, oh yeah, King Kong Lives, literal worst movie of all time, worst Kong thing ever, complete garbage. And and obviously, seeing as like the sequel to King Kong 76, movie that's already not very good, and and just from everything we've heard about, it was like, yeah, it's gonna be fucking garbage. But surprisingly, it was enjoyable. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just much different from what we expected at the very least.
Yeah. So I guess, Crash, I'll let you give your out of 10 rating first, and then I'll let Ton go.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
A lot more than I expected to.
Mm-hmm. Ton.
It gets a 6.5 out of me.
Oh, cool. For me, it would be a 6 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Which, for a movie that has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's like the kicker. Like, come on. 0%, literal worst thing ever. Come on.
All I'll say is, if people can stand for Godzilla vs. Megalon, I can stand for King Kong Lives.
That's a good comparison. But yeah, we'll get into it now because there's a lot to talk about. This movie is really unique, really strange for a King Kong movie. But I think that's part of what makes it fun to watch.
So yeah, King Kong Lives was directed by John Guillermin. I can't pronounce his name still. Coming back from King Kong 76, and it was produced by Dino De Laurentiis again. Oh my god, why did that name get
complicated last name?
Yeah. So yeah, this film came out 10 years later, which is something. Partly because King Kong 76 wasn't a massive success. It did well enough to get a sequel going, but not enough really to like rush it.
Right development, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the direction this time around?
This movie has a very like old school monster movie feel. It's very like fast paced, cuts around a lot. It always kind of keeps things moving. So it was really interesting going. It reminded me a lot of like the old Showa movies we used to watch in terms of like pacing and the fast direction of it.
Yeah.
So it was fun to get that, especially compared to 76. It's very slow, like pacing and direction there.
Ton.
Yeah. I feel like the direction really improved. I'm not sure if maybe there's just more of a creative vision for this movie or just better budget to work with, but like it still has that kind of like Jurassic Park energy from 76, and it like just looks a lot better, and it feels a lot more unique in a way. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was a little more energy that came into this one compared to 76.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I feel like that was definitely like one of the most standout things for me about this one was how much better the pacing was compared to last time, especially.
Yeah.
Because last time was dreadful pacing wise.
Can you imagine watching the 3-hour cut? Oh god.
I know. And from what I've heard, apparently the pacing in that one's even worse.
Oof.
Oh my.
It's just a very slow movie, 76.
Mhm.
But yeah, this one always like kept things moving generally. It was always a lot faster. Things got into action a lot quicker than you expected. And it's not even that long of a movie, right? It's like 1 hour 40.
Yeah, it's 1 hour 44,
It's
which
not
is
like
not
crazy.
long
Yeah.
at all.
Hmm.
That's like as long as a few of the Showa films, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say around the same.
It's not the shortest Kong movie, 'cause I think because Son of Kong,
30.
obviously,
Yeah.
Son of Kong is only an hour 10.
Wow. I know I hate the 30s movies is extra short.
Yeah,
But yeah, so the direction I say was an improvement, like
yeah,
overall.
same. I mean, like
I can't tell if there's a bigger budget here or not. Do you know for sure?
the budget's
I,
actually smaller this time.
that's yeah. I can imagine like 10 years later, like
Yeah,
yeah, you want to make a sequel? Okay, fine, but like we'll only give you like 10%. So
but yeah, I guess do we want to start with monsters or characters first?
there's I guess we can do characters first because I think the monsters are more interesting,
Okay, sure. Mhm.
generally.
All right, let me pull up the names. I should have been more prepared. 1 second.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I cannot really remember the names of the main characters in this movie as much.
Yeah, there's not too many, so I'll just do a refresher.
Hmm.
I think it's only worth mentioning the big two, and I'll do
Yeah, I'd say
everybody
so.
else after. So yeah, the big two characters in this film are Brian Kerwin, who plays Hank Mitchell, who is not I believe who's definitely that like Indiana Jones type guy who
Hmm.
found Lady Kong. What
Yeah,
did you guys think of him?
of him. Hank. At first, I was me like, oh, this guy's like the Jack fuckboy of the movie. But I'd say overall he kind of had like a redemption arc of like being less of a conceited bastard that started to care for something more, especially when he met
Hmm.
the second protagonist of the movie.
Yeah,
But, yeah, he was fun to watch on screen for the most
I
part.
feel like he's a lot better of a character than Jack was, though. I feel like while he has some weird moments, I feel like he's more consistent, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I'd say
Yeah,
so. Because yeah, like at least he's not like flip flopping in his ideals and randomly like being like, oh no, I'm a good guy now. Because he starts off like an asshole, but he stays consistent and like betters himself by the end. I would say.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, go on, Ton.
yeah. Hank kind of feels like a hybrid of Jack and Carl Denham, kind of role wise, and
Yeah,
it ends up kind of working well for him because they really take the likable traits from those kind of art characters and make Hank stand on his own. And Brian Kerwin just does a really good job giving him kind of a distinctive personality.
yeah.
Hmm.
He has like a charm to him.
He's
Yes, he has a
really
lot of.
he. Oh, go on.
No, I was gonna say he has a lot of charisma in the role.
He's really likable too, which is something to me
I know, right?
because like in comparison to Jack last time, who was like you said, kind of a to excuse the pun, jackass. This time around, I like while he starts off a little bit sleazy, I feel like
Mhm.
his arc for the most part works, where he starts to get invested in Kong,
Yeah,
rather than Jack, who it's like, why do you care so much, and why do you keep flip flopping on your opinions on Kong?
yeah. Like if you're gonna change, like stay consistent with the change as opposed to like going back and then going back again, like Jack kept
Mhm.
doing frequently in '76. Because yeah, like it's not like the most complex here, but it works. It comes together like.
Yeah, the only weird scene for me with him was initially when Lady Kong and King Kong are escaping from that facility. He helps them escape, and I feel like that wasn't set up enough. But after that, though, I feel like
Yeah,
it all
that was
flows
convenient.
together.
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I think he's pretty likable. I think he's fun. Also, I feel like them using Indiana Jones to a degree works because, like,
Yeah.
come on, it's indie. It works well when you mix that. Oh, though I forgot to say before we started, because before we start about the characters, we always talk about how the movie portrays natives. This is
Oh
probably the
yeah.
least racist King Kong movie from America so far.
Wow. What a benchmark. Good job. Not racist. They have the not racist badge.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Ton, do you want to continue your role as explaining what we mean?
Sure. The only natives that show up in this movie are indigenous people of Borneo.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the Bornean people, so someone from Borneo can chime in. But it's a pretty quick scene. They help Hank capture Lady Kong by shooting her with arrows. It's a pretty quick scene. Like, yeah, they're wearing like they're kind of naked and stuff, but they're not really doing anything other than helping Hank because he hired them. So
Yeah.
on a Kong racism scale, it's like 0.5, maybe a 1. It depends on how Borneans feel about it, but it's definitely a far improvement from what was in Kong 76. So bravo.
Yeah.
Like,
We
yeah, like
went.
they're
We.
not like
Mhm.
I was gonna, like they're not like savages here. They're just like, yeah, like he works with them, he hired them, they work together for that. So it's like already just a step up from just being like, oh, this like
Plus, it's
this
also
amazing tribe.
really quick. It's only like 10 seconds,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just that, and then the lady who's shaving him
yeah,
later,
exactly.
and
Like
that's
very
it.
quick.
So that helps when you don't have it, obviously. But
Wow.
still, we're seeing an improvement. But that's going to go away next movie. So
Well, good job,
Rip.
King Kong Lives. You get the badge for the best
You get it.
adaptation.
You
least
get the gold
racist
star.
American Kong movie, and arguably least racist so far, depending on how you feel about Escape's one native. But
Mhm.
anyways, the other main character of the film is Linda Hamilton as Dr. Amy
Yeah,
Franklin, and I think that's
yeah, I'm
hilarious that
looking.
this was Sarah Connor here, only 2 years after Terminator.
That's really nuts. I wonder if she's like, "Oh yeah, King Kong. That's like the big one." Or there's something. I don't know. I'm just really surprised they got Linda Hamilton, but it was her presence on here was really nice. Linda Hamilton's a great actor, and I say she brought a lot of Christmas for a role here. As like, especially, it's just amazing because like following up of 76 is like two characters. It's just amazing how much better they are to
I know,
watch.
right?
I mean, having an actual competent adult woman here that's not a fucking child like in 76. We keep comparing to 76, but that's just, it's a direct sequel, and I don't feel like you can really ignore that as much. I don't think
Yeah.
so, at least. But yeah, Amy Franklin, yeah, she's a surgeon. She works well. She brings back Kong to life, and kind of has like another sort of attachment to the Kong in general. Just I guess it's a very rare species. Caring about it, trying to study it, understand it more, and yeah. But she's also a really fun character, I'd say, and like her growth with Hank, especially, it's much more. In
Mhm.
comparison to King Kong relationships in movies, I'd say it's probably up there with like Escapes and having an actual like healthy relationship for the most part. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like her connection with Kong here is a lot more consistent
Mhm.
than
Mhm.
like with Dwan back in Kong 76. I feel like with
Yeah.
Dwan there, I didn't really get when she started to care for Kong. It felt very random and sudden.
Mhm. 'Cause I feel like connection is important to get in the Kong one, and here it's much more natural. Yeah, she actually like just like performed the the giant surgery on him and cared about him, like especially from like a research perspective, and also just like as an animal. And then Juan is just like she got kidnapped one time. She's like, no, I love Kong now. So
Yeah,
it's just much better here, and like her and Hank especially, just like two actual adults as opposed to like Juan and Jack from last time, which at least not adults in terms of mental capacity there. But
yeah, that's the thing. Like you said,
yeah,
she's much more mature than Dwan was, which is nice. But anyways, I'm not done. Go on if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, I really like Amy in this. Linda Hamilton is just such a great actress. Really, she really just gets into her roles and portrays the characters very well. And eh, the thing I like about Amy is that, like you guys said, she's a lot stronger character than Dwan, and I like how she's not just like another version of Anne. She doesn't
yeah,
really have like a romantic arc with Kong at all. It's more she's just the scientist here, and she's like a competent scientist. And even her like relationship with Hank, even though it starts off kind of usual movie,
yeah,
slap slap kiss kind of thing, they bond really quickly. So relationship feels like meaningful. Like you actually care about their relationship
Mhm.
as you watch the movie, which was not what I was expecting when it first like started, but
Mm-hmm.
because I thought it'd be like, oh, here we go, another generic forced romance, but it's actually
Yeah,
kind of sweet as you watch it.
exactly. Because like usually in a lot of the Kong ones, it's just kind of like the girl gets kidnapped, she gets saved by the guy. She's like, "Oh, you're my hero. I love you." Then they fall in love.
Mhm.
We've seen with a lot of these so far, so this was a nice change of pace. I liked it more.
Yeah, I feel like she's a marked improvement over Tuan, like we've been saying, and I'm glad to finally have a female character in these, which finally has some agency because we haven't really seen that up until now.
Yeah, at
Honestly,
least not like Hilda,
well,
kind of
yeah, Hilda. I was about to say that's what I just thought of. I feel like Hilda has it, but this is definitely what was I gonna say?
on a bigger
Yeah,
scale.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, those are the three. Those are the two real main characters. There's other human characters. There's the bad guy. I think it's the same guy throughout, right?
yeah,
The army man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Though he shows up in the middle when everything escapes.
yeah. I should have called this one King Kong Escapes. Huh. But yeah. Those are really the main ones, though. So I guess
Hmm.
we could go into the monsters now, or
Yeah, sure.
do we do
Do,
we have a
do we want to start with Kong or Lady Kong?
start with Kong? I guess he's the main star.
Yeah, sure. So, Crash, do you want to start on
Yeah,
Kong?
sure. So, so funny enough, this movie follows directly off the events of '76, where Kong got fucking shot to death, fucking blown up and eviscerated, the blood everywhere in pieces, and falling off the twin towers, and then he lands. And while we thought he was dead, it turns out he wasn't dead. He was actually alive, just in a really like comatose state. I think is what they said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
So
is
the
really funny because like
he got
he needs
fucking
a heart
shot.
transplant to get fixed from being falling
You
from
just
not
don't
yeah.
understand Kong biology, Mulder. Come on. Every important
It's really funny though. Like it's just like okay, he got shot like 500 times and he fell
the only organ that
from the
matters
twin towers.
is his heart. If his heart's working, everything else naturally works as well. So
Hmm.
yes, so they kept him secret in this like bunker for like 10 years, keeping him alive, and then they gotta do a heart transplant and bring him back. And so right from there, I'm just gonna say they changed his heart, which made him a different character from '76. So, but yeah, here he's much more Kong like, I'd say, like in
Hmm.
terms of like portrayal, like with the actor as well, and just in terms of as a character, like he's much more like an animal, like he was in like 33, being a Kong, being King Kong, I guess. If any of y'all want to chime in, because yeah, I don't know, I just think his portrayal here is much more, it's much marked improvement from '76. It's much more
Yeah, I'd
animal,
agree.
more motivations, and it's just more endearing as a monster here.
Hmm.
And I think you mentioned this when we watched it before, but this feels like the first major attempt to do a more sympathetic Kong in this movie.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like this is the first one which like actually invests into making Kong sympathetic rather than like having the like Kong 6 was like tried to do that, but I don't think they pulled it off well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was too quick there because here we get to see a lot more of Kong, as a character, his interactions with the Lady Kong, his motivations, and him just trying to just live by himself. Because he gets to the island, he escapes, and then he's just not the island, the mainland, and he's just in Georgia. He's just chilling in the forest, and he just wants to be left alone. And throughout the movie, he sees the army's constantly chasing him, attacking him, trying to hurt the person he loves, Lady Kong, and just builds him as a much more sympathetic character overall. And he only really like fights back when they're attacking him.
Hmm.
So yeah, in general, I say this King Kong was a lot more endearing than usual.
I'd agree. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree with Crash. I really like King Kong in this. I feel like overall he has a better design in the suit, and especially the animatronics. Definitely. Um, the eyes aren't quite as expressive here, but
Hmm.
I'm willing to forgive it for the better suit. And in general, he's just a lot more likable this time around. Like, it's kind of like silly seeing him like get shot up in '76, and here it's just like, oh, he just needs a heart transplant. He's fine. They give him a lot of personality, and yeah, like Crash said, he's a lot more justifiably sympathetic here. You actually care about this Kong. Like, I mean, if you like Kong, you like Kong regardless. But in most of these movies, he's pretty clearly the antagonist. But here, he does feel more like, kind of like an animal that's kind of running loose and not really hurting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think the family aspect of the movie is a big part of that too, because it gives
Mm-hmm.
him like more like a motivation for him, like fighting his character, something he cares about. And I think it's just all built up to a much more sympathetic Kong, like we've been saying.
hmm Like, also, they do a lot of really funny comedy with Kong that endears him, I feel
Oh,
like.
oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, you're totally right. This movie has a lot of
Which
really
I
funny.
know a lot of people have issues with, but to me, I think it adds a lot to
Mm-hmm.
Kong, personally. It makes him more endearing than how 76 did him, at least to
Yeah.
me.
I think the thing with comedy movies like this is that it's all about a balance. It's not that you can't have comedy. It's about knowing when to take parts seriously and when to have some like levity or like calm moments. Because there's a lot more serious moments in this movie, but also a lot of really funny moments with Kong and just in his mannerisms and things he does, like some of his random interactions with Lady Kong, or
hmm
like like when he's like walking out through the city, someone hits him with the fucking golf ball. He's just like, bro, like what? Like it's just a lot of like really funny moments like that that make it more endearing.
hmm And, like, the thing is, also, I feel like it adds to the charm of the film, personally. Like, I love all the hijinks with Georgia in this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that also just all comes back around to just how different this movie is for a King Kong movie, because this is like only the second one I think to not be a direct or at least to not have elements of a remake. I guess of like the original one.
hmm I'd agree.
Yeah, because
Well, like, because I feel like there is some goofy stuff in the original movie too, as well.
yeah, yeah, I would agree too.
Oh,
Because
Ton, dude. Oh, go on, Crash first.
oh yeah, I was gonna say because like for one, this movie's not on an island, so he has a much bigger chance to like interact with like people on the mainland. And it's just really funny how the second he starts rampaging in Georgia, there's immediately like a whole like random militia that gets built up to try and hunt down King Kong. And it's like that's so perfect. That's
hmm
we if you know Pokes, our friend here on the channel as well, Jurassic Games. We asked him, he lives in Georgia, and I was like, Pokes, if King Kong did escape in Georgia, would the local townsfolk really like build up an army to take him down? And he was like, yes, yes, they would, like very confidently.
Yeah,
So that element of the movie was really funny
it's
because
very.
I think it added an element of like humor while keeping like Kong himself more serious as well. Because it's just in the
hmm
humor what the people are doing, and I think that was really funny.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, to me, something which it makes the film more than just a generic, like, King Kong film, I guess, because I think at this point, while there's not as many as Godzilla, you
Hmm.
are starting to run into that same similar stuff.
Yeah, like the King Kong 33 story itself has gotten worked into like 5 movies at this point, so or 4, I'd say, because you have 33, part of it in King Kong versus another small part of it in like escapes and elements throughout that, and then
Mhm,
76. That's like 4 movies with that like basic story implemented into it, and it gets very repetitive. And the fact this one was like the only like 33 stuff that did it is just the recap at the beginning, and everything else is just like practically original except for like some elements of Son of Kong, which
mhm.
um
Which is what I was gonna say. I feel like this one feels very, like, unique, like you were saying. I feel like it's the first one that's finally breaking from the mold since Son of Kong, like
yeah.
you were saying. But go on, Crash.
Yeah, it's just a much more like original one as well in terms of setting, like motivation, characters. It's just a fun one, a different one, especially from what we've seen so far. And that I think that's also part of what makes it stand out and be much more enjoyable in general, especially compared to 76. I'm sorry I keep referencing 76, but it's just coming from that one. It's like wow, it's a lot more enjoyable. IMO.
Yeah, but yeah, Don, go. Do you have anything to say about all the stuff we've been talking about?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
kind of intense.
yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's really interesting how they got a lot more out of Kong here, making him more. The humor works really well. Kind of reminds me of like an MCU movie. I won't say which one on Star Wars in the comments, but like one that has better balance between the humor and
I know what
action.
you're
Hmm.
talking about. Yeah, because I mean, like, in like serious moments, there's no like lol joke, at
Mhm.
least here, especially like in the ending, and that's much appreciated here. I think they balance that
Yeah.
very well.
Hmm. And they definitely do a really good job making this story stand out and justified. So all the new stuff feels very like it's different, but it's not like so different that it doesn't feel like King Kong.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like it keeps the core elements of King Kong, like as a series and a character, but does a lot more with it than what we've seen from the past
Mhm.
50 years of Kong, as much
Hmm.
besides like the Toho stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think did you say you already said your piece about Kong, right?
Yeah,
Who,
yeah.
me?
Yeah, yeah, most.
Oh,
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I did. Which I guess brings us to the other big Kong in the movie, Lady Kong.
Oh boy, Lady Kong. Yeah, when I first saw Lady Kong, I was like, bruh. I was really surprised, but yeah, Lady Kong is another Kong, a female Kong who lives in Borneo, not on Kong Island as they call it. But,
Mhm.
but yeah, Lady Kong is interesting. Female counterpart to King Kong, and they're the same species, and they immediately become super infatuated with each other. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the really interesting elements of this movie. We get a good few scenes of just King Kong and Lady Kong. Just I still think the Lady Kong name is kind of dank, but it's that's her official name, I guess. But yeah, we have a lot of scenes with them just interacting with each other, and I find a lot of them really cute and endearing. They're just this little Kong couple with two Ks, just chilling out and just enjoying each other's presence.
Yeah, like I sing that like I like oh like Crash, when me and you were talking about this before the like we said, or well, I said, I think the moment you introduce like a spouse or a companion for a character, it really fleshes them out per se and makes them more sympathetic and endearing, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
No, yeah, I would agree as well because it's something you can all relate to, Bond. Someone you care about, someone you love, and just seeing that with another character like that gives you that what's the word? It's not endearing. It's if it's I don't know if it's like relatable. It makes you sympathize with Kong more. He has someone he also cares about and loves. They both care about each other, and
Hmm.
just inherently that makes him a much more sympathetic character. And that's what Lady Kong does all throughout. And like their relationship is a big part of the movie throughout because I mean, because they both get kidnapped, like not kidnapped, I
Hmm.
guess contained individually, and they break out for each other. The army's constantly trying to be like, "Nah, get back here," and like bringing them back. But
Hmm.
yeah, she was not an interesting element of this movie. Could have been called Bride of Kong. If I'm being honest, considering how big of a part she plays in it. But yeah, she was cool. Her design is kind of funny though. They gave her
Hmm.
big monkey breasts,
Yeah,
which you said is not
that that is
not
not biologically accurate,
accurate.
which is very funny.
Yeah, but yeah, if any of it has something to say about it.
Mhm. Um,
Hmm.
Lady Kong is interesting. I really like her design. Besides that kind of dink detail they did.
Yeah.
Uh, whenever you do kind of like sexual dimorphism in fiction, you always kind of run the risk of kind of making the female counterpart look a little goofy
Hmm.
or a little too girly. The female Night Fury and How to Train Your Dragon 3. Anyway, uh, uh, Lady Kong here, she looks good. She looks like a gorilla, like Kong.
Yeah, I was gonna say besides the breast, like she just looks like another Kong, and I thought that
Hmm.
was cool. But
Yeah,
continue.
that's cool. Hmm. And personality-wise, I feel like they did a good job kind of making her feminine, but like still she's still a creature very much.
Yeah.
She still acts like Kong does. She's still just as destructive, but she is a bit more like, I guess, like calm and like, I don't know. She's a bit feminine, but it's not like in a way that's like
Overdone, I guess.
obnoxious.
It's not just
Yeah,
like, oh, look how girly she is. Like, yeah, they didn't put like a bow on a Lady Kong.
yeah. She's not Miss Pac-Man. Sorry, Miss Pac-Man fans.
Yeah, like the only thing they really do with her is give her the not biologically accurate breasts. But that's far from the worst thing. Something else I do like with her design though is that they give her orange hair to make her different from Kong's black hair, which I think is a nice little detail that sets her apart. And the funny thing, I know a lot of people complain about Lady Kong in this, but I don't think it's that drastic. Personally,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of a jump to shark when people say it is. It's not that weird.
I mean, yeah, like it's
Yeah.
like it's not like the concept of a female Kong is like some out there outlandish thing. I don't think. I mean, Kong exists. Like he had to have a mom, I imagine. So it's like it's not like some crazy leap in logic. I would agree.
Yeah, I feel like Kong stuff always kind of implies that like Kong's the last of a species, and we saw like Kiko and Son of Kong. So having having a female Kong isn't that ridiculous. Like the only thing that's kind of a stretch is her being in Borneo, but
Yeah.
they did kind of.
Yeah, funny enough, they have a line. They're like, "Oh yeah, so we're thinking like Kong Island, Borneo, were like one single landmass in the past." And I was surprised. I was like, "Okay, I thought they just weren't going to acknowledge that at all."
I know, right? It was so funny because like we were getting on the with that we were like, oh, haha, look at them. They completely messed up and just had him on Borneo, but then they explained it.
I know, with little passing lines, like, okay, that's like I got the coolest way to justify this. I was like, all right, I'll give you that. But yeah. So latest Kong's present, I think, is fine.
Oh, not to cut you off, Crash, but I forgot to mention something for Kong. Kong kills people in this movie really graphically.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was really surprised, especially with like some of the humor. This movie got really fucking gory sometimes. Like he's fucking him up. It's a good thing they shot it first because he's really fucking him up.
Yeah.
There's that one guy. He just fucking snaps in half. Like goddamn. Like
then there's the other guy which he eats.
He just eats. Yeah, just takes a chomp out and spits the head out. Like
and also I forgot to mention this first movie where Kong fights the military like in a big fight kind of sense.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I've never thought about that before. That seems like a really obvious thing, and obviously he has fought like like planes before, but like not like a big organized like military thing, like you usually see in like a Godzilla movie. So that was a natural step forward, I would say, for him. And that scene was pretty nuts because luckily they didn't even like buff Kong that much. Like he gets pretty fucked up when he fights the military.
Yeah, that's the song I was gonna try. It's like the fact that they didn't like make Kong bulletproof or anything. He's still just as vulnerable as he always has. So they end up being really creative in this with how Kong, escapes from situations.
He escapes a lot in this movie. That's not King Kong escapes.
He escapes like what, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, because he escapes from the lab, and he escapes from the rock trap. Pretty sure he escapes from somewhere else.
He escapes from the lab again. I guess Lady Kong escaped. Their combined escaping is a lot of escaping.
Lady Kong escapes twice too, like you just said.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny.
So I guess we can talk about the final Kong in this movie, Little Kong.
Oh yeah, he
Or
doesn't have a name.
Or Kiko. Right? No, he has no name, but so we're just reusing the Son of Kong names.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, whatever. Why not? That works.
That stuff to me, weirdly enough, is like the most emotional stuff in the movie for me.
I would agree too.
Like Crash, I'll let you go ahead because I was so surprised with it.
Yeah, surprisingly, of all movies, by the end of this movie, the military is right there. Lady Kong's like about to give birth, but the military shows up and they're about to like pretty much take him out. And so Kong, in his last act of defiance before his heart goes out, he goes to fight all the military, getting pretty fucked up in the process to save his little son from being born. And there was enough investment for me and emotional strength there that I actually teared up when he died after
Yeah,
Kiko got
because
born.
like his death to me, Kong's with Kiko is so surprisingly emotional. Like just it's so it's so like here's the thing, it's kind of dank to say it out loud, but like the bit where like they're telling I'm a Lady Kong to show Kong Kiko and telling
Yeah,
Kong to touch.
he's
Like
hands.
it sounds really dank, like when you just say it. But somehow in the movie, at least for us, it worked.
Yeah, executed very well, I would say. And like they keep it serious. There's no humor there. Like Kong is
Hmm.
dying, he's got tears rolling out. Little
Yeah.
Kiko wakes up, runs, like hugs his hand. It's yeah, it was very surprisingly emotional for me.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
just in general, it's a very feelsy scene, and I was really surprised that I was crying at this King Kong Lives movie. But it did something right then, and really got me because, like I said, they build up to it. You sympathize with this
Hmm.
Kong, and there's a lot of stakes there. And you mentioned this before, and like, and what's Kong's last defined moment of saving his son and wife before
Yeah.
he
Like
dies.
that's the thing. It's like the way you say, okay, it sounds a little bit dank because it's a giant gorilla, but somehow in the movie it works the fact that Kong is fighting to save his son and dying in the process from it.
Hmm.
Yeah, very good scene. But yeah, and so even though Kiko has very short scene, its impact is big there.
And it's
And
also funny because it truly makes a sequel into Son of Kong the remake. The only time Son of Kong's been remade.
maybe yeah. I mean, yeah, like the we said this before in the Thunder Kong episode, I think, but like the elements there are very interesting and like prime for redoing in some fashion. And I was surprised to see them do it here, even though they kind of save it for the end, but it works really well there. Because I say like the
Hmm.
sun is a good motivation for Kong, and then we get a nice scene at the end of them like Lady Kong and Kiko just like
Yeah.
living out their life in Borneo like,
Which
peacefully.
also which also is part of what makes Hank from who we were talking about earlier so likable in my opinion is the fact that he buys that sanctuary for Lady Kong and King Kong and their son.
Yeah.
Though he doesn't know that the son's on the way, but he spends all
Hmm.
the money he got from giving them Lady Kong to, by the way, when he sells Lady Kong to the university. Like
Yeah.
it shows that he's not an asshole. Also, I did want to say, I forgot to mention earlier to humans, the romance is so much better between them
Oh, for sure.
than Jack and Dwan
Yeah, absolutely.
because they actually develop it, even though this movie has less time.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have a lot of like because I mean, for the most part, this movie they're like always together by that point, working together, trying to get the Kong. They have a lot of like cute, funny character moments together, and they bond over like what's going on. And
Hmm.
it's a lot more natural than like your Jack and Juan's. Because like I said, even then, even like there, Juan just does not act like an adult. So like it's weird to be like, oh, like you're falling in love with her. This this like childish character.
Hmm.
And so and Hank and Amy, they're both level-headed adults, even though
Yeah.
they take time to like to grow the relationship. So it's a lot more natural. And it's so yeah, but yeah, that's it pretty much.
Wow. What else is there to talk about? We flew through this ironically.
No, it's a short movie, but it's
Hmm.
packed with a lot of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of really funny
Oh
moments.
wait, I forgot. Ton. What did you think about everything we've been talking about?
Oh
You
yeah,
and Crash
sorry
have
for
been
like
talking a lot.
leaving you out.
No, it's fine. I get it. No, it's fine. Yeah, yeah. Um, Something that I really liked with the ending and kind of the Baby Kong is that it's almost feels like such a subversion, kind of what you would expect from this kind of movie. Like you almost want that kind of the Lost World Jurassic Park ending,
Hmm.
where like you have the Papa T Rex and the baby T Rex, and they help them escape, and they're happy together on the island. But you almost kind of want, and this movie almost makes you want that sort of ending for the Kong family
Hmm.
because they make them very charming, cute together, and that final stand is just so emotional. Um, it works surprisingly well, but then it's like the the fact that they pretty much set up Kong to be doomed really kind
Hmm.
of surprised me. and the fact that he dies at the end, like in such a like a brutal way. Like I had seen the scene kind of out of context once before we watched this, and I thought it looked kind of goofy. But seeing it in context within the movie, it's a really effective moment because it's just like you and Crash said, it's just very emotional, very like grips your heart, and then like even when you get to the end and you see Lady Kong and Baby Kong back in Borneo in a reserve happy, you still notice the absence of Kong, and it just works really well. Like like I said, this movie makes you care about its characters, like both human and kaiju, which is uh, I guess the reason it's surprising to me is that usually Western monster movies aren't as interested in kind of building up the emotional element of the monster.
Yeah, I feel like they're usually more invested in the humans than the kaiju as characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where like I get kind of the Jurassic Park vibe with this movie. I know I keep bringing up Jurassic Park, but this is really Jurassic Park, where it's just it makes you care about the Kongs like you do the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, which is something that made this movie very charming to me.
Yeah. And I think like it's also just very different from like a Kong movie in general for the most part. Because like obviously there's a lot of like other emotional parts in the movies, but it's like the first one to like really build up Kong like and his family like that.
Yeah,
And that's what makes it stand out as it does.
and
Which
I'm
means
real.
sorry,
Oh,
continue.
and I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, and I'm really glad that they went so unique with this movie. Like, as much as people complain about that, I think it was actually a nice breather.
Yeah, like I don't know what did people like want from it? Did they want another remake? Like I don't know. I'm just happy to see any like original take and like follow
like,
up to Kong.
like I get Kong 76 wasn't the best, but I feel like people's issues when isn't that it's a sequel to Kong 76. It's that it's like so silly, but like I kind of like that, and I feel like I don't think okay, to put a hot take here, it's not like Thor Ragnarok, which doesn't know when to get serious. Like it knows when to stop the jokes and to be serious.
Yeah.
It
Like
it
that's the big
mhm.
thing.
And like its goofy moments aren't anything that outlandish either, in my opinion.
There's no like Hanna-Barbera like sound effects like Kong flipping on a banana. There's silly moments, but they're not like in your face and they don't like drag them out. They're very quick and snappy.
hmm I would agree.
like Kong like stepping on a car. I guess like oh my dad's gonna kill me. Or I don't know the golf ball one always kills me because like
The
Kong's just
golf
like
ball one is so
rolling.
funny.
It's so
And he
good.
just hits him and she's like, what? Or or even like when he wakes up that one town in Georgia and everyone's just like, bro, like he's like fucking freaking
Yeah.
out, running away.
Oh,
Oh
the
wait,
funniest
when he
bit
shows up
from
at the
that,
bar.
the funniest bit with that to me in the Georgia town waking up scene is when that guy just drives in motorcycles
Rice
through
there
Kong
is like
for no reason. It's
just
so
like a random
funny. Like
daredevil.
it's so random and dank, but it's so funny. And I feel
Or
like,
like
mhm,
oh sorry, because or at the end with the barn, like when he
yeah,
gets up there and they're having like a reunion, it's like, oh wow, this tea is real good. This drink's real good. They're just chilling. Everyone's like running away, and these two guys are just like having a casual conversation. Well, Kong just like rolls up on it.
yeah, and like I get why people wouldn't be down with that, but I personally find it funny and endearing personally.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't like take away from like Kong as a character because, like I said, for most of those, they don't like demean like Kong. They don't make him like the butt of a joke. He's
Mhm.
just there for the humor or like as a part of it.
And like, okay, see, to me, the difference between Godzilla vs. Megalon and this has a plot, and it's trying to do something. Megalon's like, stuff.
Stuff happens, I guess.
And like that's why to me I prefer King Kong Lives. For me, I'm more just surprised at how negative people are about this movie is the thing.
Yeah, that's the because I can totally get people not being into it, but like the extreme amount of like dislike and like hatred for it really surprised me, and it makes me wonder if a lot of people have actually like even seen it or
I
if they
know,
just
right?
kind of went into it going like this is sequel 76, it's gonna suck. Because like yeah, it's not like the most amazing hire up, but like it's not 0% Rotten Tomatoes bad at all.
Mhm.
I just don't get like the extreme vitriolic hatred towards it. Like it's the worst monster movie ever.
Mhm.
It just really surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
Did
But
you have anything to
yeah.
say?
Oh, no, no, no. I was just thinking for a second, my bad. Like, I feel like this movie and Gamera Super Monster are the most, like, hated kaiju movies of all time. Probably upset alongside Gina Need, but even Gina Need has more defenders, I'd say, than King Kong Lives or what do you call it? A Gamma Super Monster. And I just don't get why this one elicits that much hatred.
It's really confounding to me, honestly.
And I feel like part of it might be just that word of mouth. Oh, this one sucks. This one's awful, and
Yeah.
people not even watching it. Because I know for me, I'm not going to act like that wasn't me. I thought this movie was awful before watching it
Yeah.
because of everything that people said. So maybe it's a lesson here. Watch a movie before you have a take on it.
Yeah.
What? Seriously? Have an opinion on something you've actually engaged with? What? No, that doesn't make sense.
Like, I think you can say the ideas don't work for you, but I feel like until you see the execution, you can 100% like say it.
Yeah, I would agree too. It's just so extreme to me. I mean, like we we watched Giant Claw. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure Giant Claw has a bigger Rotten Tomato score than this, and I would watch Lives over Giant Claw any day,
Wow,
honestly.
really?
Giant Claw was so boring to me. I'm sorry. Well, we talked about that in the episode.
Oh, yeah,
Check out
we
our
did.
Giant Claw episode if you want to see more thoughts on that. But
The one with one the least amount of downloads, so definitely check out Giant Claw.
exactly. So watch our Giant Claw episode.
The funniest thing is,
Watch it.
Crash, there is no Rotten Tomatoes for Giant Claw. Nobody did a review. Oh wait, the Street Feet people did reviews for it, but it's too low to give it a tomato meter. But just by these three, it would have a higher RT score.
Of course, yeah. I mean, just anything above 0 will inherently be a bigger score.
Exactly, which is wild to me. Like 10 Ron reviews, not one positive. Oh my god! But that's also a lesson. Don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, like 'cause that's the thing for me. I've said it before. Like, I'd rather watch something at least interesting and fun than something really boring. And at the very least, I think that's what Lives can offer. You know, it's fun, it's weird. Even if you don't like it, I think you can at least have fun with how like dank it gets or like the humorous or dumb stuff in it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. It's not perfect, but like, chill, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's my thing. And I guess also, like I was saying, I think people should probably watch movies before giving takes on movies. I'm just saying.
But yeah. Well, let me bring up one more segment. We mentioned this earlier, but once again, with Kong and naming conventions, they call Skull Island Kong Island in this one.
Yes, that is so funny to me.
I guess that's it. And also, I think I wasn't paying attention. Did they even call him King Kong in this one? I think they said it's.
No, and they might have said it like once or twice, but I don't remember it.
It's very interesting because the King Kong name seems to not even like be like a name they
Hmm.
it's more like a title than anything. With all the movie, with all, at least with the American ones, they tend to call him Kong for the most part. I guess King Kong's kind of wordy for them, but
Yeah,
it's still really interesting to me how often they just call him Kong.
which I guess makes sense why like King Kong just is not used at all in the MonsterVerse.
But like not even for the titles though. Like they always put in the titles at least.
Yeah,
So, but I guess they can get away with it now that we've seen these and learned. Even in the movies, they call him Kong for the most part.
yeah.
It's just kind of funny to me. But
But
yeah,
wow, I can't believe it. We're almost done with Kong.
I know.
We only have two more episodes. So Crash, I'm curious, what's your rating so far? Not rating, ranking so far of the
Oh,
Kong films.
I haven't done that. I'll bring it for the next episode.
Okay.
This is totally planned, by the way.
Yeah, well, we're a very well planned podcast. We're not spontaneous at
Yeah,
all.
of course.
But yeah, does anyone have anything else they want to say about King Kong Lives?
He doesn't do much living in this movie. He kind of dies for most
The
of
title's wrong. King Kong dies.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
False advertising. I want my money
Oh
back.
wait,
Oh wait,
Con.
yes.
Yep.
Do you have any thoughts on what we were talking about with the Rotten Tomatoes stuff and all that other?
Oh yeah. First off, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Farm rolling papers. Stop being drones, right? So-called free thinkers when the Rotten Tomatoes scores rolling. No, but really, it's like I think it's important to kind of just don't be afraid to have your own thoughts on movies. Like even if you don't like something, like I dislike plenty of movies that are really popular. I'm not gonna say which, but okay, no, but it's like and then you can like stuff that's unpopular.
It's okay, Ton. You could taste Spider-Verse. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Outing Ton for everybody.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah. We'll get to that in Spider-Man Roundtable coming 2027. But for, in regards to King Kong Lives, I think you know I can see why people aren't huge on this one. Like maybe it is kind of hammy, it is kind of silly, and if you're not looking for that in your giant monster movie, you're not gonna like this one.
Mhm.
But if you if you're just looking for like a fun, rompy giant monster movie, like that's the thing. A lot of people even say it's like, oh, I think giant monster movies are dumb. I just like dumb fun. It's like this is the dumb fun giant monster movie right here,
I know, right?
and like
Well, they probably complain that there's too much human stuff.
yeah, probably. But it's like I have fun with this one. I think other people would too. So you give it a chance.
And like
But
we mentioned, we were watching it, but it kind of gives us like Fukuda like show vibe in a way. It has that like fast paced, fun energy to it.
mhm.
So like
Yeah,
if you like a lot of cheesy show stuff, you probably get some enjoyment at the very
Yeah.
least.
definitely.
All right, I guess. Oh wait, Crash.
Wait,
Did
one
you
more
have?
thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
say one. You pointed this out, but they brought back monsters jumping into oceans.
Oh
Hell
yeah,
yeah! Kong jumping
because
still the river.
yeah,
That was a that nice bone they threw me. I was happy about that. I didn't even notice until you brought it up because it was dead for like 20 years.
I know, right?
But
Oh,
yeah,
let me see. But unfortunately, Kong. I don't think there's any rocks in this one though.
that's
No, he does. I
Oh, he
think he,
yeah.
does.
When
yeah,
he's
he
on
picks.
the mountain, yeah, when the army's there and he like gets
Oh
the map.
yeah,
Hell
Mhm.
yeah, Kong throwing
Crash,
rock.
Crash got both of his desires.
Hype.
We
I
we
love it.
forgot to mention it back in King Kong Escapes too that you got that back as well.
I know, right? If only we had a monsters peeking over cliffs moment too. But one day we'll get them all. But yeah. Um, I'd say that's kind of it for lives now. So it's a shorter movie, shorter episode, I guess.
hmm This episode was as like wild and all over the place as King Kong Lives.
I know this was a really random tangent-filled episode.
Yeah.
Not
Hope
our
you still
most,
enjoyed.
but yeah, I guess we should close it out. Crash. Do you want to give your closing thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, King Kong Lives. It's better than you probably heard at the very least. It's not like some great, amazing movie, but
hmm
what it was, a lot of fun. It's a very original Kong movie, and it got me to cry. So that there has to be something good there for you to enjoy. So I would recommend it, especially if you like 76. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess if you like 76, you might not like this, but why do you
yeah,
like
because it's like
76?
the opposite.
Yeah, but then
Crash.
if you like 76, there's your issue. But but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with it. It's a fun one. It's a really unique Kong movie too. So at the very least, you can
hmm
get something different out of your Kong. You know, he's
Yeah.
not climbing the Empire State Building here. So yeah,
Well, we didn't climb it last time, Crash.
okay, he's not climbing any. Does he climb a building in this one? No, he doesn't.
No.
No, okay, he's not climbing any buildings in New York. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's fun. So yeah.
Ton.
Yeah, King Kong Lives. It's fun. I liked it. If you like, more rompy giant monster movies, or you just want a King Kong movie that feels different, um, I'm starting to notice the trend of me being fond of kind of like the non-reboot Kong movies,
hmm
like Son of Kong, King Kong Escapes, Godzilla versus King Kong. They're all very fun movies, and this one was a surprise. It's really charming. Um, Definitely give it a shot. I recommend it. I kind of hope if we get more Kong stuff in the future, they kind of look at stuff like Son of Kong and King Kong Lives for instead of just rebooting.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
So definitely, one of the ones I've enjoyed more this roundtable.
Well, for me, I feel like I have one simple statement: Stand King Kong Lives.
Yeah.
And those are my closing thoughts. All right, this has been episode 5 of the Kong Roundtable. Next time, we will be discussing King Kong 2005 because these movies don't have creative titles.
Yeah.
Wait, we're not watching Mighty Kong?
No, we are not. We are not watching that. That does not count. That's barely official. That's like peak bootleg Kong movie.
Damn. We'll have a Mighty Kong roundtable specifically for that.
Anyways, like I said, next time we'll be discussing King Kong 05. Thank you for listening and have a good night.